know is an emergency word in the event that something happens, and you want to make sure that Koa is able to come back to you if he is off the leash and, you know, maybe he goes off to the other end of the beach. Maybe you see a dog you're kind of iffy about. You want to make sure Koa comes back to you as soon as possible. I know sometimes dogs get a little bit distracted. You really want to make sure that, you know, he does associate this emergency word with something really, really delicious. So any distractions that he's around, it automatically will bing in his head and he'll just come running to you. When you practice this, make sure to be really enthusiastic. You're so happy he's coming back to you. You want to give him all kinds of affection, hugs, kisses, but make sure that you do have your treat. Now, it can't be just any treat here, which I just unfortunately do have, but if you do have something that's maybe steak or something really, really delicious that he just doesn't get all the time, that would be something to use to train him for the emergency word. And, you know, when you guys do go out and about and maybe you have Koa with you, he's on the leash, go ahead and practice it randomly. If you will have some treats with you, go ahead and practice it when you're out with him, you know, at the park or something. Even in your house is a great time. Just make sure that you really have that specific, especially delicious piece of food that he absolutely cannot resist. Now, when you do your emergency word, it's basically just a more intensified version of come. And remember, when we do come, we have our treat in the hand here, and we do the big motion of come. It's basically the same thing, except you're trying to get him to come faster to you. And maybe if come doesn't work, then you can resort to your emergency word. And when you do, you know, hopefully not have an emergency where you have to use the word, but if he always associates the emergency word with you having that really delicious treat in your hand, closing your fist, and when you practice this at home or if you're out with him and you use this motion, you can make it really big and exaggerated, because if he can't hear you, he'll be able to see you doing this motion. But all you're going to be doing is sing, which of course he's laying down right here. I expect him to be investigating the area, but he's a little bit tired, I guess. But when you do the Koa, come, treat, treat, Koa, treat, you want to make sure that you're really excited, and, you know, he automatically will associate the word treat with having that delicious steak or whatever you may have in your hand. So when you're practicing at home, you know, maybe he's investigating a bedroom or something, do it randomly. Make sure that you're practicing Koa, treat, treat, your emergency words. You really want to be really excited when he comes to you. And when he does come to you, you want to have him sit and then be able to reach around, secure him by his collar. So when you do have to have him come to you in case of an emergency, you're able to make sure that he can't go anywhere. And then after that, he is able to have his treats. Now let's see if I can find something a little bit more interesting here, because he doesn't seem to be a fan of these ones. Let's see here. Now, like I said, I do have just basic treats here. So I'm going to have to use these, but if you do have your piece of food that he doesn't get all the time, please use that. Come, treat, come, treat, come, 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 treat, treat. Now, he's not coming very quickly, but this is just to show you he's sitting nicely, but you really want to make sure that he's secure when you grab his collar. Then he's able to have his delicious treat. He doesn't seem to be a huge fan of the ones that I gave him. He kind of reluctantly came to me. But when you do have your steak or another piece of meat that he really loves, that would be something really great to use when you're working with him on that. But again, you know, unfortunately emergencies sometimes happen, and hopefully it doesn't happen with Koa, but if you do practice this consistently, you'll be able to have him come back to you in the event of an emergency. Just remember, if you have your treat in your hand, keep your fist closed. Even if he can't see what's in your hand, you know, it just looks like something might be in there, he'll be more inclined to come when you do the gesture. But just make sure that you get really excited when he comes back to you. Anyway, this has been Nicole here with Mr. Koa, who's currently relaxing off on the side. We've just been talking about the emergency word, and we'll see you next time. Bye!